Okay, welcome to Collision Chaos. Now this is sort of like your Spring Yard inspired zone. There was actually another level that is called Round 2. I think it is like Perilous Something or Dubious Depths. There's been a couple of names mooted for it. They've met up with Amy again, and if you see here, she gets kidnapped by Metal Sonic. And this is Metal Sonic making his first appearance. So it's up to us to rescue Amy, really. And that's the main driving point of Sonic CD. There's been this weird planet called Little Planet that's appeared, Robotnik's taken over. It's sort of been able to travel through time to unleash his sort of mechs in the past. And yeah, it's up to Sonic to sort it out. He meets Amy, she gets kidnapped, and of course, he needs to rescue her. Maybe I might have some details wrong, but I think that's a good enough synopsis. So I want to ignore that future sign for one purpose, because we can actually use that to time travel and we'll go into the actual good future. Now, in order to find the capsule in this level, if you get a time signpost and go into that string and hold into that little machine there, that will allow you to travel quite easily. And the capsule is just down here. There you go. Now, if you find a future signpost, I believe there might be one to the left. And yeah, we should be able to show off the good future. Now this is quite a good place to actually time travel, as you can just keep going up and down. So there'll be certain structures in the levels that you can utilise to time travel. Now of course we don't want to be in the present too long because there's lots of dangers. So the reason I left this signpost in particular is because we can just jump down here and time travel to the good future quite easily. Let's get to it. And here we go. And yeah, can I just say, I really love this aesthetic. And I think Sonic CD has my favourite aesthetics in any Sonic game. I think I mentioned it in Sonic 1, that I really dig how eccentric the backgrounds were, and this game takes it up to 11 really. It's just looks so scenic and yeah, wonderful. I really dig it, and it is so sort of unusual as well, right? And yeah, it just really gels with me. Now I do like the art to Sonic 2 and Sonic 3 and Knuckles, of course, and Sonic Mania, but that tends to be a bit more grounded, I find, whereas this, I don't know, it just, as I say, really gels with me. I don't know the theory behind it. I look at it, I go, wow, and that's all I need to know. Okay, so special stage number 3. Now, I think there's something I wanted to mention, didn't I? Oh yeah, the advantages and disadvantages of getting the speed. So, of course, getting speed up allows you to sort of run faster and get some better hang time. The disadvantage is you can't control Sonic as well. And you might have noticed when I went into the water, time ticks very fast. So I'll give an example here. So you want to try to avoid the water as much as possible, because if you run out of time, you're kicked out. You don't want to be doing that. Well, there we go. That's time zone number 3. Our quotation, yeah. Chip-a-doo-yeah. Yes. Okay. Into Collision Zone Act 2, or Zone 2. And the way I get to travel to the past in this one is I go to the lower left here, once I'm able to navigate through this thing, whatever it may be, those weird egg things. And there is a past signpost right here, and there's also a spring here, so if you go on this spring and just keep bouncing up and down, and that's how I get to a past in this level. No idea how else to get to a pass, to be honest. I always struggle. But hey, we did it. And I believe the capsule is just up here. So it's up here, and I think is it to the left. Have to avoid those. I might be mistaken. It might be somewhere more to the right. As I say, we're not here to rush through this game. This is the scenic tour. Oh, here we go. Of course. So there we go. I think we'll hang him a pass a little longer. I don't think we explored the pass too much. And yeah, if we accidentally go into a present, that's fine too. We'll just go with the flow. So one thing I like about the music in the Japanese and European soundtrack, more so than the US soundtrack, the US soundtrack tends to be a bit more environmental. And as I think I mentioned the word cohesion, so each of the past, the present and the futures in the Japanese and European soundtrack are all remixes of each other. Whereas in the US soundtrack, they're all sort of different tunes. Now, I think the Sonic CD used a different audio file type for the past soundtracks. So the past soundtracks are actually the same in both the US and the Japanese soundtrack, but the present and the bad future and good future are different in the US version. And it creates a bit of a, maybe not a dichotomy, but certainly a noticeable distinction, I feel. So maybe I'd have had a better opinion of the US soundtrack if it's all entirely original. And I wonder if there's like a fan like soundtrack where they do original tracks for the US. But again, that's not to say that the US soundtrack is not worth listening to. There are some really good tracks in it, some of which I do prefer to the Japanese soundtrack, or you know, they're certainly up there and comparable with it. But just overall, I do prefer the cohesion, I think. Now, I've mentioned there is, you can play as Tails in this version. That wasn't available originally. That was added into this version. And I might do a Tails playthrough if anybody's interested. And as I say, playthrough with the US soundtrack. But with a Tails playthrough, what I'd do, if I do indeed do it, is I'd play it more like a classic Sonic game. So rather than looking to get all of the time stones and going to create a good future, we'll sort of go for the quote-unquote bad ending, but we'll just sort of go through the levels from left to right like a typical Sonic game. If you time travel, great. If not, no worries. Now this is the boss act. This is a boss that either takes me 2 seconds or 2 hours. I'm sure anybody who's played this game may have had a similar experience. We'll see how long this one takes me. So it's sort of like in a pinball machine. Oopsie daisy. I was just about to say, I think we were on for a 2-second version, but there we go. Okay, that wasn't too bad. Sometimes I can get caught in that pinball machine and it takes me, maybe not 2 hours, but certainly a considerable amount of time. Hey, we got lucky.